This stretch of the wall, they found some other pieces of it throughout, and it sits right on the natural rock. They dated it to the 27th, 28th century ago, so 7th, 8th century BC. It's the time of Hezekiah. King Solomon is 3,000 years ago. Hezekiah is the 8th century BC. After the Assyrians are capturing the 10 tribes up in the north of Israel, they're coming over to put a siege over Jerusalem. That's all the biblical report. And they're putting a siege over Jerusalem, and to prepare for this siege, the Jews are doing two things. First is to build the tunnel that we're going to see in the city of David, that takes the water and, make sure that the enemy would not get to the water, and sends the water through a tunnel, long tunnel, into the city walls. And then they're building a new wall that enclaves all the western side of the city. Pieces of this wall were found, and now we can draw a map of Jerusalem. You see on the sketch over there, the solid line is Jerusalem Old City walls of today. The shaded area with the dotted line is Jerusalem, the way at the borders of Jerusalem back in the First Temple time period, the late First Temple time period, not the time of David and Solomon, but later on. And you can see that it overlaps with the contemporary Old City when it comes to the Armenian quarter and the Jewish quarter and Temple Mountain. But it also included Mount Zion and the city of David on the south part or outside the city wall of today. It did not include back then the Christian quarter and the Muslim quarter, which are on this side. We're in the walls, they're over there on outside the walls. So that's Jerusalem of some 2,700 years ago. Another thing that they found in this area here, you see the structure there outside the wall?
Yes.
It's like the wall is running over it. It's not that it's leaning against the wall. The Bible tells us that they were so much in a hurry to finish up the job here, they sort of ran over or left some of the houses outside. Those people were compensated. So it could be that in this stretch of some 60 meters of the wall, we hit one of the houses that the Bible is talking about. It's very sort of, if you believe the Bible, you don't need all this sort of supporting evidence, but its correlations are really nice when you find the archaeological sort of finding that sort of correlates or echo the biblical report. It's nice. Now, as we're walking down the First Temple time, there is also lines like this in black marble, which is Jerusalem walls in the Second Temple time. And when we're talking about Second Temple time, we already know that we had 3 walls of Jerusalem. So this is the first wall of Jerusalem in the Second Temple time. There was a second wall that was on the northwest side of the city. Remember this from the model yesterday? And there was a third one that was way out of the city walls of today towards this direction. So look around and century. Remember, we're talking about it so much, starting all the way in the Damascus Gate, all the way through the heart of the city to the southern part of it. This is the actual Roman city. We're going to go down there and visit it and talk some more about it. And you have time to shop also there in the Roman Cardo. Then we're going to head out towards lunch, okay? Church that has a beautiful mosaic floor, and the mosaic floor is a map of the area, and it goes back to the 5th century. It's a Byzantine, 6th century. It's a Byzantine time church, and on this map, Jerusalem is being rated 15 times larger. Check me from the rest of the cities. It shows you the importance of Jerusalem and Christianity back then. And it's so detailed that we can really see Jerusalem back then. The main street of Jerusalem is this long stretch of the street. This is the Cardo where we are right now. It has this gate over here. You see, remember when we were driving by the Damascus Gate this morning and we got here the small arch? And so it was a small arch, much larger arch, and another small arch. These survive. The one, so this is the beginning. There was a plaza here, a very famous pillar in it, and this is where the secondary Cardo starts. Okay, we walk the secondary Cardo coming from the Antonia, we did this turn left here, right? We're walking all the way to the Jewish quarter, which is here. So this is the secondary Cardo. The main Cardo is this one here, starting all the way from the Essex Gate to the southern part of the city. The main structure in Jerusalem in the Byzantine time is this one here. And this is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the church that was built over the Golgotha by Wailing. We mentioned already that the entrance back then in the Byzantine era was from the Cardo, not from where we were entering. Remember the story about the baker, the bakery there that renovated, broke the back and found the staircase? It's right here. So there was like an entrance from here, and so this is the main structure. There was another very important church over here, the Ania Church, that did not survive. Very little of it, very little of the apsis survived. It was huge, all the way in the southern part of the city. And apart from that, we can tell that Temple Mountain, which is supposed to be somewhere here, is completely neglected. And this is on with the historical record that says that during the Byzantine era, Temple Mountain was really the dump of Jerusalem. The Byzantine deliberately left it in ruins because they saw in this the fulfillment of the prophecy of Jesus. Remember Jesus sitting on Mount Olive, looking at the beautiful temple and says, you know, it's doomed. And so this is what temple. This is still here because this is a very important Christian. This is the gate to the east. This is in the Christian tradition. We mentioned this. We walked through here, coming out of the old city after we did the Via Dolorosa. It's at Stephen's Gate. The first mark here. So it's still here. The Lion's Gate. This is Jerusalem. We're on the Cardo. Let's step over here. On this piece of the street, this stretch of the street was kept the way it was in the Roman time. And then to the other parts of it, they added new contemporary stores to occupy the spaces, and you get the street was restored to its original purpose. We're for pedestrians. This main street was mostly for chariots and carriages and all that. And there is a mirror image of this side on that side. So it was very wide and spacious. And during the centuries, it narrowed down to the narrow areas of the city that we walk today.
Church of Sepulchre. Travel plaque.
Mount Olive, Mount Scopus is over there, Mount Moriah. The Jewish quarter with the western hill is taller. Everything around us is higher than this hill itself. And the reason they sort of position themselves here is because here is the water of the strongest spring around in this entire area, not just of Jerusalem, but all this part of the country is on the slope of the Kidron. Halfway down is the Gihon spring, the strongest spring, and in order to survive in this country, you have to have the water at hand. I mean, if you don't have the water, you won't survive long. So they built it here so they could be close to the water, so they could have access to the water in time of siege and in any other time. But they had a problem. The spring is not on the top of the hill; it's on the slope of the hill. So, and the city was just at the top of the hill. So the Canaanites dealt with the problem by building an underground passage that was, we're going to walk it later on, that takes you from the city walls underground all the way to the spring itself. So they could have access to the water even in time of siege. And